Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Highlights. And this episode, we'll be discussing two animal crests, male and female, from the Bambara culture. And the book we'll be talking about is The Mothers by Britt Bennett. The reason I chose this pairing is because these animal crests are about fertility, both in crops and between couples. And it's a similar theme to Britt Bennett's book, in that it's about a young man and a woman and their relationship together and how some of the decisions they make affect their lives further on into adulthood. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, this is a set of male and female animal crests from the Bambara culture. The male is located on the left and the female is on the right. In Bambara, the invention of agriculture is credited to a mythical hero named Siwara, literally translating as farming animal, who was half human and half beast. The Men's Association, under the same name, sponsors a masquerade that takes place as farmers work together in communal fields. The performances encourage farmers to work harder while also celebrating their heritage. Such crests as these would have been worn as headdresses during the performance. I really love the detail found in these pieces, but I think my favorite feature of all is the little baby that's standing on the back of the female. Britt Bennett's book, The Mothers, is actually her debut novel, and for a debut novel, it has a lot going for it. I'll start off with a brief synopsis, but essentially it's about really two main characters. Nadia Turner. She's a high school senior. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's probably going to be going off to, a nicer college. But unfortunately, her mother has just passed away, so she's kind of lost and doesn't really know where her place is in life. And then opposite to her, we have Luke Shepard, who's the pastor's son in the church community they both belong to. And his hangups are kind of that he was a high school football star who unfortunately injured himself. So he's kind of just hanging around, also not really knowing what he's doing, young 20 something, kind of that situation. Um, as two lost characters, they eventually kind of find each other and form a relationship, and one thing leads to another, and they get pregnant. The rest of the book is essentially how the decisions about this pregnancy affect their lives into adulthood. I really thought this was a great book in that it explored a lot of themes all at once, and it did it really well. I think it had a lot to say about parenthood, what it means to be a mother, what it means to be a father. I think also it had a lot to say about parent-child relationships and how those can reverberate between one another, in a sense that, in some way, there's that whole idea that children kind of become a little bit of their parents, whether they like it or not. Um, it also explores the church community and how that can sometimes be a double-edged sword for people. I think it has a unique perspective through feminism in that not only is our main character a woman, but she's also Black. So in a way, she has even more to prove, not just to the world, but to her own community even. And what I like about this book is that it's true feminism, in that not only do we get Nadia's perspective about these decisions, but we also get Luke's perspective and how it affects him. I think it's hard for young people today because we're faced with a lot of opportunities, but if you're a person from a lower income household or background, or you're a person of color, then it's almost like any decision you make can effectively take some of those opportunities away. I think that's what the author was really trying to say with this story. Yes, there are choices, but decisions still have to be made because you can't actually have it all. And I think that's even more so, like I said, for people from lower income background, or people of color who might not who definitely don't have a lot of the same opportunities that some other people have. Something a little bit different. I'd like to go ahead and read 3 quotes from this book. I actually wrote down a lot of quotes because I felt like it was really well written. There was a lot of lyricism, and I think it'll give people more a sense of the essence of this story. So I'll go ahead and start with the first one, and it's kind of like Nadia's perspective and how she feels in her church community. So here it goes. She felt it then, and she felt it every time during prayer sessions when she glanced around the room of believers, the starkness of her own loneliness. And then the second quote, I feel like, is something that can really be thought twice about. I'll go ahead and read it and then I'll explain why. Poorness never left you, she told him. It was a hunger that embedded itself into your bones. It starved you even when you were full. When this quote is in the book, she's talking about economical poorness, but I feel like this quote really speaks for the whole story, and that poorness is a lacking, and in some way all of these people are lacking something in their lives that cause them to make decisions and then have regrets about it, and it's something that they're never able to really let go of, and it stays with them throughout the whole time. And then the last one I feel like is just a general overall aura of the book, I should say, but it's the weight of what has been lost is always heavier than what remains. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about the book. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. Coincidentally, Britt Bennett also has a new book that just came out recently. It's called The Vanishing Half, and I'd really like to read that one too sometime, but I don't know when I'll get to it. But maybe it'll make its way into this series, maybe not, we'll see. Highly recommend this book if you're looking for something to read. It's really good, it's really popular right now, so there should be plenty of copies that are available. I hope you guys have a good weekend, and see you next time. Bye.